Engines roared in the shadow of the Council's spire as Ambassador Marin was executed before the galaxy's eyes. The broadcast cut out mid-speech, a betrayal frozen in time. "I am Admiral Kalen," and that moment shattered a fragile peace. Marin's final words, raw and resolute, were silenced but never forgotten. Across star systems, whispers ignited. Secret transmitters hummed to life, sending fragmented messages, hope stitched in defiance. Alien voices trembled yet united, their stories of oppression bleeding through static waves. The millennia-old empire began to crack, its foundations trembling under the weight of suppressed truths now breaking free. I watched fleets shift like shadows, eyes locked on the unknown. What started as sparks of resistance became wildfire, consuming fear. The galaxy held its breath. Marin's death was not an end. It was the opening salvo of a rebellion no one dared imagine. In the dim control room of my flagship, screens flickered with intercepted broadcasts, short, raw, unfiltered. "Earth is not alone," a trembling voice crackled. "We suffer too." Each message was a dagger piercing silence, each word a rallying cry. These transmissions defied Council censorship, slipping through encrypted nets. My officers exchanged tense glances. The network was growing, fueled by alien hearts aching for freedom. From the icy moons of Veridran to the burning sands of Kaltor, secret signals burst like wildfire, weaving a tapestry of rebellion. Technology once used for control was now subverted to spread hope. I issued orders, cloaked reconnaissance, signal tracing, and silent patrols. This was more than warships and weapons. It was a war of whispers and waves. The galaxy's undercurrent was shifting. I sensed the old empire's grip loosening, but the coming storm would demand everything. Late one cycle, my communications officer intercepted a transmission unlike the others. A child's voice, raw with fear and hope, whispered through the static, "We hear you, Earth. We fight in shadows." The pulse of defiance was alive, unpredictable, unstoppable. It spread faster than any fleet could move. I walked the deck, watching stars blur as we followed the signal. Behind the scenes, fleets hesitated. Some loyal, some fractured, others quietly joining the chorus of rebellion. Each message carried risk, a silent gamble against a ruthless empire that crushed dissent with fire. In this vast, cold space, the galaxy's oppressed found a common rhythm, a shared heartbeat tuned to Earth's silent promise. I realized this war was no longer just political. It was deeply personal, a reckoning born from millennia of silence. The Council scrambled to find the source of the broadcasts, but our new allies were ghosts in the data streams, encrypted, disguised, and relentless. We decoded fragments of messages. Marin's courage wakes us. Freedom is a virus, and the Empire's lies end now. Each phrase stoked the fires of resistance. I convened my Council of Captains. We coordinated covert strikes to protect signal nodes and disrupt Council surveillance. Technology, once a tool of oppression, became a weapon of liberation. Our fleet's cloaking systems masked movements as we moved like phantoms through contested space. Trust was scarce but vital. Amongst us a new alliance formed, fragile yet fierce. The galaxy was awakening, and with it, a tide that threatened to drown the old order. The question was no longer if the rebellion would rise, but when, and how fiercely. A forgotten moon became the flashpoint. There, a small rebel outpost broadcast a live message. Earth did not fall alone. We rise. Across communication arrays, the words echoed, sparking riots, uprisings, and hope. The Empire's agents struck quickly, but the signal was already immortal. I stood on the bridge as the first starships loyal to the rebellion responded, igniting engines cloaked in shadows. The galaxy watched as war was no longer fought only with weapons, but with the power of truth and unity. Marin's death birthed a force the Council never anticipated. The ancient empire began to fracture visibly, while hidden transmissions continued like a heartbeat beneath the chaos. This was only the beginning, an uprising born from silence, powered by voices that would not be stifled. The rebellion's fire spread like solar winds, invisible yet fierce. Secret transmissions multiplied, calls for solidarity, resistance, and survival. From shattered colonies to hidden enclaves, oppressed worlds whispered in unison, "We are many. We are awake." The Council's iron grip faltered under the weight of countless voices. In the flagship's war room, I traced the source of new signals, coordinates shifting constantly, like shadows dancing beyond reach. Our encrypted network became a lifeline, connecting distant allies with a speed no fleet could match. Technology morphed into a weapon of rebellion, hacking silence with 1,000 tongues. Behind the scenes, dissent fractured the Council's ranks. Some commanders hesitated, others disappeared without explanation. The galaxy's old order was cracking from within. Marin's legacy had become a contagion, unstoppable and irreversible. In the dim glow of the command deck, I received a transmission coded in a dialect long thought extinct. "We stand with Earth," it said. "Your fight is ours." A tremor ran through me. Aliens once isolated, now linked in a secret alliance, bound by shared chains of oppression. We scrambled to secure meeting points, clandestine rendezvous where leaders exchanged intelligence and plans. Trust was rare, but these whispered alliances grew stronger, fueled by desperation and hope. The Council's propaganda faltered against this growing unity. Our technology teams worked frantically, developing new encryption layers to shield us from the Council's prying eyes. The battle had moved beyond fleets. It was now a war fought in silence, in code, and courage. A shadow fleet emerged, small, fast, invisible. Their ships moved through space like phantoms, delivering supplies and encrypted messages to rebel cells scattered across the galaxy. I commanded these shadow runners, trusting only a handful to carry the burden of secrecy. The Council lashed out, deploying signal jammers and hunting down suspected rebels, but their efforts only revealed their desperation. Every strike against us galvanized the oppressed further. The silent storm was growing, a force the Council could neither see nor stop. In the midst of it all, I found myself questioning what victory meant. Could this fragile coalition survive the coming battles, or would we become ghosts in a forgotten war? Marin's voice haunted the networks, fragments of his final speech encrypted into viral messages that spread like wildfire. "Justice will find us, even in the darkest corners," he had said. Those words became a mantra, echoing in the hearts of millions. One intercepted broadcast from a devastated world moved me deeply. A mother whispered, "He gave us hope when we had none." Across countless systems, stories like hers strengthened the rebellion's resolve. Marin's death was no longer a tragedy. It was a beacon. I shared these transmissions with my crew, reminding them why we fight. This was more than politics. It was a stand for every silenced voice, every crushed dream. The galaxy's future hung on that fragile hope. Tensions exploded within the Council chambers as faction after faction broke ranks. Trusted commanders defected, bringing ships and intelligence. The rebellion was no longer a whisper. It was a roar shaking ancient institutions. Our fleet grew bolder, striking key communication hubs and freeing prisoners hidden in forgotten outposts. Technology once wielded for control became our shield and sword. I ordered a bold strike on the Council's main relay station, hoping to cripple their reach. The galaxy was changing before my eyes. The Empire's foundation trembled as the oppressed rose in unison. I braced for the storm ahead, knowing the real battle was just beginning. Engines hummed quietly as our fleet slipped past patrols, cloaked and unseen. The Council's relay station was within reach. I ordered transmission teams to flood the network with false signals, chaos in their data streams. The air crackled with tension. Inside the relay hub, rebel hackers infiltrated security systems, disabling firewalls while broadcasting rallying messages from hidden voices across the galaxy. "We are the storm," they declared, "and the Empire will fall." It was a strike not just on tech, but on hope. Outside, the Council scrambled to respond, but every attempt to retake control only amplified the rebellion's pulse. The old order's dominance was unraveling, one hacked relay at a time. Trust fractured even within our ranks. Whispers of betrayal circulated, someone feeding intel to the Council. Paranoia crept into the fleet's corridors. I summoned my closest officers, a tight circle of loyalty amid growing suspicion. We tightened protocols and doubled encryption. Meanwhile, subtle signs revealed an unexpected ally within the Council itself, someone playing a dangerous game, sending cryptic messages of support. Who they were remained a mystery, but their information saved lives and won battles. In the dark silence between stars, alliances shifted like sand. The rebellion was no longer just a movement. It was a complex game of shadows and secrets, where every step could mean survival or death. Across dozens of systems, uprisings erupted almost simultaneously. Cities once silent roared with protest, and fleets once loyal turned their weapons inward. The Empire's reach faltered. The broadcasts we sent inspired and coordinated these revolts, a symphony of defiance. I stood on the bridge as reports flooded in, rebels seizing starports, prisoners freed, propaganda towers destroyed. Each victory was a beacon, each loss a lesson. Technology was both our sword and shield, from encrypted comms to stealth ships. But the Council struck back hard, unleashing shock troops and electronic warfare. The galaxy teetered on the edge, chaos threatening to consume us all or forge a new order from the ashes. Deep in contested space, an ancient satellite, a relic of forgotten wars, was discovered to be broadcasting a secret signal. The message was simple but powerful. Unity is strength. We fight together. Its source was unknown, and its technology was far beyond current understanding. I ordered a detachment to secure the beacon. Its presence galvanized rebel cells, providing a secure hub for transmissions and a symbol of hope. The Council desperately tried to jam it, but the beacon's encryption was nearly impenetrable. As fleets maneuvered for control of this critical asset, it became clear the rebellion was evolving. No longer fragmented whispers, but a coordinated force, ready to challenge the Empire's final defenses. The Council responded with brutal efficiency, unleashing their elite fleets to crush rebel strongholds and silence broadcasts. Star systems burned, and the sky was torn by laser fire. We faced overwhelming firepower, but the rebellion's spirit did not waver. I coordinated guerrilla tactics, hit-and-run strikes, cloaked raids, and signal spoofing. Each battle was a test of will and technology. The galaxy's oppressed fought with everything they had, knowing defeat meant extinction. In the chaos, I glimpsed a fleeting chance, a weakness in the Council's network that could turn the tide. The war was far from over, but the foundation for a new future was being laid in fire and blood. Engines flared as we launched a daring strike deep into Council space. The target, a fortified data vault containing encrypted records of secret operations. Breaching its defenses was a near-suicide mission, but the payoff was too great to ignore. Inside the vault, our cyber operatives worked frantically, decrypting files while alarms blared. The data revealed hidden atrocities, covert assassinations, and collaborators within Council ranks. It was proof to rally hesitant systems to our cause. I stood on the bridge, heart pounding as the vault's security grid collapsed. The Empire's secrets spilled into the void, truth as the deadliest weapon. The galaxy's foundation shook, and the rebellion's fire grew brighter. A distress call from an abandoned war zone reached us, a forgotten battleground haunted by memories of an ancient rebellion crushed decades ago. We sent reconnaissance to investigate, hoping to find allies or lost technology. What we found was chilling. remnants of old fleets, derelict ships covered in scars, and encrypted logs detailing sacrifices made in vain. Yet among the ruins, a hidden cache of experimental stealth tech waited to be claimed. I felt the weight of history as we salvaged those relics, ghosts reminding us that freedom always demands a price. The past was a warning and a guide, fueling our determination to succeed where others had failed. Council informants warned us of an incoming strike designed to sever all rebel communications. The plan: to plunge the galaxy into silence and isolation. We scrambled to prepare, knowing that losing our network meant losing the rebellion. Our engineers worked around the clock, reinforcing encryption and deploying decentralized relay nodes across remote systems. Cloaked drones flew silent missions to set up these signal outposts, hidden beacons in the darkness. I watched as the Council's blackout descended, a galaxy swallowed by static and shadows. But our network held, flickering defiantly like distant stars. The veil of silence was not impenetrable, and hope survived the night. Among the rebellion's fiercest fighters was Commander Lyra, a hardened alien veteran whose past was a mystery even to her closest allies. Her ship darted through enemy lines, delivering supplies and rescuing stranded rebels with unmatched skill. One night, over comms, she shared a rare moment of vulnerability. "They took everything. My world, my family. This fight is all I have left." Her voice, raw with pain, reminded us what was at stake. Her courage inspired our fleet. Bonds forged in fire and loss became our greatest strength. Together, we were more than a rebellion. We were a family fighting to reclaim the stars. Signals from rebel-controlled systems surged. Coordinated attacks struck Council supply lines, starports, and communications simultaneously. The rebellion was no longer scattered pockets of resistance. It was an organized force with momentum. I stood before my crew, eyes scanning star maps alive with activity. "This is the moment we fought for," I said. "The Empire's hold weakens, but the fight ahead will test everything: our technology, our courage, and our unity." Engines roared as fleets prepared to surge forward. The galaxy held its breath, teetering on the edge of a new dawn, or total annihilation. Our intelligence network had grown into a vast web, connecting rebel cells across star systems. Each thread was a lifeline, smuggling routes, safe houses, encrypted transmissions. The Council's agents hunted us relentlessly, but every trap was met with countermeasures. During a covert meeting, one of my lieutenants reported intercepted Council plans, a massive strike targeting our main communication hub. We had hours to prepare. The tension was electric. Every heartbeat matched the countdown. I ordered the hub's evacuation and deployed decoy signals. The rebellion's survival depended on outwitting an enemy that controlled most of the galaxy. Our war was fought as much in shadows and secrets as in firepower. The Council's fleet descended on Elisar, a rebel stronghold known for its critical relay stations. Starfire lit the void as ships clashed in brutal dogfights. Our defenses held but barely. Explosions rocked the planet's surface. From the command deck, I coordinated defense squads and shield generators, barking orders over the roar of alarms. Rebel ground forces engaged Council Marines in fierce battles beneath shattered skies. Every moment was a fight for survival. Yet, even as the siege tightened, rebel broadcasts beamed hope to millions. The Empire could destroy cities, but it could not extinguish the voice of rebellion echoing across the stars. A captured Council officer, codename Spectre, offered critical intel in exchange for asylum. His knowledge of fleet movements and covert operations was unparalleled, but trust was a luxury few could afford. I met Spectre in the shadowed halls of the flagship. His calm eyes hid secrets darker than space itself. "You think you know your enemy," he said quietly, "but the Council has layers you haven't even glimpsed." Reluctantly, I agreed to use his intel, setting a risky trap to draw the Council's elite forces into a controlled engagement. The gamble could end the rebellion or doom it. The trap worked, but at a terrible cost. During the battle, vital intel was leaked. Our positions were compromised. A devastating ambush crippled part of our fleet and suspicion spread like wildfire. Was there a mole among us? Paranoia fractured our unity. I struggled to hold the crew's morale as whispers of betrayal threatened to unravel everything we'd built. In the quiet moments between chaos, I vowed to uncover the traitor. This war was no longer just against the Empire, but against darkness within ourselves. Amidst despair, a breakthrough arrived, an encrypted transmission from an unknown source offering advanced technology and sanctuary beyond the Empire's reach. The message was brief but clear. We fight with you. The stars are ours. Hope rekindled in the fleet. We traced the signal to a hidden system, cloaked from all known scans. Could this be a new ally or a trap? I ordered a cautious approach, knowing the next step could change everything. The galaxy's future hung on a razor's edge, but for the first time in cycles, I dared to imagine victory. Our ships approached the cloaked system cautiously. Sensors struggled against the veil of advanced stealth tech shielding the hidden world. As Admiral Kalen, I felt the weight of uncertainty. Was this salvation or a carefully laid snare? The fleet slipped through the shadows, scanning for life signs. Then, a burst of encrypted transmissions flooded our channels, coordinates, schematics, and urgent warnings. The senders claimed to be remnants of an ancient alien resistance, long thought extinct. We faced a choice: embrace this enigmatic alliance or retreat into isolation. The rebellion needed allies, but trust was scarce in these dark times. Ambassadors from the ancient resistance boarded our flagship, bearing gifts of forgotten technology and war strategies forged in millennia-old conflicts. Their leader, a stoic figure named Veshar, spoke of battles lost but lessons learned. We fought the Council's tyranny before, Veshar said. Your fight is ours, but be warned. The Council's reach is deeper than you imagine. As we integrated their technology, cloaking fields, disruptor arrays, hope surged through the crew. The rebellion was no longer a ragtag band, but a coalition with the tools to challenge the Empire's might. Despite new alliances, the Council's spies penetrated deeper. A secret attack disabled several relay stations simultaneously, crippling communications. The rebellion staggered, struggling to maintain coordination. In the chaos, an encrypted echo of Marin's final broadcast was discovered. Masked within layers of code, a hidden message urging unity and resilience. It spread like wildfire, rekindling the flames of rebellion. I realized our greatest weapon was not technology, but the unbreakable spirit of those who refused to be silenced. The Council unleashed their most feared weapon, a devastating electromagnetic pulse capable of shutting down entire fleets. We barely survived as ships flickered dark, systems rebooting amid chaos. I ordered emergency protocols and improvised defenses, but the EMP strike was a brutal reminder of the Council's power. Yet, even in the void, we found resilience. Shields held and encrypted backups kept the rebellion alive. The battle had turned brutal, but surrender was not an option. Our unity was forged in fire and the war was far from over. Intel revealed a secret armada hidden in the galaxy's outer reaches, ships thought lost or destroyed, now awakening under rebel control. This fleet could tip the scales in our favor. We raced to rally these forces, navigating treacherous space and evading Council patrols. The awakening armada symbolized more than military power. It was proof that hope endured, even in the darkest corners. As Admiral Kalen, I felt the tide turning. The rebellion was no longer running from the Empire, it was hunting it. The lost armada stirred from its slumber. Ancient warships groaned as their systems flickered online after decades of silence. Their massive hulls reflected distant stars, cold and unyielding. I commanded the awakening with precision, knowing these giants could crush the Council's chokehold. Technicians scrambled to integrate our updated tech into the archaic vessels, The fusion of old and new birthed a terrifying power. The crew felt the weight of history, ghosts of battles past fueling hope for a future. As the Armada's engines ignited, the galaxy shifted. The rebellion was no longer a whisper. It was a force demanding a reckoning. The Council, desperate, unleashed armored titans, massive war machines controlled by neural links. Their purpose: to crush rebellion planets with unrelenting force. News of devastation spread fast, shaking rebel worlds. Our strategy turned to guerrilla warfare. Hit and run strikes against supply chains and sabotage of factories producing these titans. Technology became stealth and speed against overwhelming brute force. In quiet moments, I pondered the cost. The rebellion was growing, but so was the darkness. The veins of steel threatened to choke hope, but we fought harder still. Encrypted transmissions revealed a council plan to flood the galaxy with disinformation, false broadcasts to turn systems against the rebellion. Trust fractured among our allies, and suspicion clouded every decision. We fought a war of information, countering lies with truth and undeniable evidence from the vaults we'd seized. I ordered secure broadcasts to remind the galaxy of Marin's sacrifice and the rebellion's cause. The battle for hearts and minds was as fierce as any starship duel. In this echo chamber of deceit, clarity became our greatest weapon. The rebellion's momentum came at a price. Supply lines strained, casualties mounted, and alliances teetered on collapse. I convened a council meeting, faces weary but determined. Commander Lyra spoke bluntly. "We can't win if we burn ourselves out." We debated sacrifice and strategy, balancing firepower with preservation. In the quiet after, I walked the decks, hearing whispered prayers and quiet tears. Hope was fragile, but it was the only light in endless darkness. We would endure, for Marin, for the oppressed, for the future. The Council launched a coordinated strike on our home base, aiming to crush the rebellion's heart. Sensors screamed warnings as enemy fleets converged in ruthless precision. We fought back fiercely, every ship a shield, every shot a message. The battle tore through space like a storm, fury and desperation clashing in brilliant bursts. I realized the war's turning point had arrived. Either we break the Empire's spine here, or be broken ourselves. The galaxy's fate hung in the balance as engines roared into the storm. The battlefield was chaos. Flashes of light, deafening blasts, and ships spiraling into the void. Amid the storm, I piloted my flagship with grim resolve, every maneuver calculated to protect the rebellion's core. Our forces held the line, but the Council's flagship loomed, a monstrous titan commanding devastation. I ordered all systems to overload, preparing for a final, desperate strike. As we closed in, a transmission cut through the noise, an encrypted message from the mysterious ally. "The time has come," it said. Hope surged, fueling one last push to break the Empire's will. Suddenly, fleets cloaked in unfamiliar technology emerged, striking the Council's forces with precision and fury. The ancient resistance had arrived in force, shifting the battle's momentum. Veshar's fleet tore through enemy lines, disabling weapons and rescuing trapped rebels. The alliance we'd forged became a reckoning no empire could withstand. I realized then the war was bigger than any one faction, an awakening of countless voices silenced too long. The Council's fall was no longer distant. It was imminent. The Council flagship retaliated fiercely, targeting our command ship. Shields flickered under relentless assault as I coordinated evasive maneuvers and counter-strikes. With systems failing, I initiated the final plan, deploying a virus designed to cripple the Council's neural network. The virus spread, infiltrating the enemy's core systems. Explosions rocked the flagship as control slipped away. The Empire's grip weakened visibly. The last stand was fierce, but the tide had turned irrevocably. As the Council flagship fell silent, the galaxy seemed to hold its breath. Across systems, broadcasts switched from coded whispers to open declarations of freedom. I watched as planets erupted in celebration and tears. Years of oppression began to unravel, and a new era dawned on the horizon. Yet, beneath the joy, a quiet warning lingered. Freedom was fragile, and vigilance eternal. The galaxy's story was far from over. In the aftermath, the rebellion transformed into a coalition of diverse worlds, united but wary. I stood before the gathered leaders, knowing the peace we sought required constant sacrifice. Marin's voice echoed in my mind. Justice will find us. His legacy was our guide as we rebuilt, not with domination, but with respect and hope. The galaxy was forever changed, a place where the oppressed found strength in unity, and silence gave way to a chorus that would never be silenced again. Even as peace settled, strange signals flickered at the edge of explored space. Shadows moved in silence, and rumors whispered of a faction refusing to surrender. I couldn't shake the feeling that the war's end was only a pause. Late one cycle, encrypted distress calls reached my comms, fragments of a message from an unknown source warning, the real enemy never left. The rebellion's scars were deep, and new dangers lurked in the dark. I ordered quiet surveillance. In the vast void, old enemies hid behind new masks, and the galaxy's fragile calm was poised on a knife's edge. A covert network surfaced, operating beneath the radar. Hackers, spies, and operatives claiming allegiance to the rebellion but acting with unknown motives. Trust frayed as sabotage struck critical systems. Commander Lyra led a team to trace the network's source. Their findings were chilling. The Phantom Network was a rogue faction, using rebellion symbols but pursuing a shadow agenda. I grappled with betrayal within our ranks. Was this a remnant of the Council's manipulation or a dangerous new force? The line between friend and foe blurred in the galaxy's shadows. Reports arrived of entire fleets disappearing without a trace near the uncharted Nebula Rift. Ships vanished mid-jump. Crews left no distress signals. Panic spread among our allies. I dispatched reconnaissance, cloaked and cautious into the rift's swirling mists. Sensors went dark. Then a faint, cryptic beacon pulsed alien in origin, but eerily familiar. The rift was more than a natural phenomenon. It was a trap, or worse, a prison. I felt the weight of unseen eyes watching us, and the rebellion's survival depended on what lay hidden there. Deep in the rift, our scouts uncovered ancient ruins orbiting a dead star, technology far beyond anything in current databases. The ruins pulsed with dormant power, whispering secrets of civilizations erased by time. As we studied the relics, strange phenomena disrupted our instruments. Crews reported visions, fragments of memories not their own. It was as if the stars themselves held echoes of forgotten wars. I realized this discovery could shift the balance. Knowledge that could either save us or doom us, depending on who claimed it first. Back on the flagship, tension mounted. The Phantom Network's influence grew, and the mysteries of the rift deepened. I convened an emergency council, urging caution and unity. But beneath the surface, old fears resurfaced. Old grudges, betrayals, and the hunger for power. I wondered if the galaxy was ready for peace or doomed to repeat cycles of darkness. Engines roared as we prepared to face unknown threats lurking at the shadow's edge, where every choice could mean salvation or oblivion. The fleet plunged into the swirling mists of the Nebula Rift, sensors flickering in the dense energy. Each jump was a gamble, unknown forces warping space and time. I could feel the crew's nerves taut like strings. Suddenly, ships reported spatial anomalies, time loops, distorted signals, and ghostly shadows that vanished before they could be targeted. The rift was a labyrinth designed to trap or test. We had crossed into the heart of a mystery older than the Council itself. Every decision felt like stepping deeper into a spider's web, and survival meant unraveling secrets before the web closed. The Phantom Network revealed itself, not as traitors but as rogue operatives hunting a deeper enemy embedded in the galaxy's core. Their agenda aligned with ours, but through darker, riskier methods. I met with their leader, a calculating figure named Sira, whose eyes held cold fire. "We fight shadows with shadows," she said. Trust was fragile, but alliance was necessary. Together, we planned a strike against a hidden facility broadcasting mind control waves, a weapon capable of twisting entire populations. Failure meant the rebellion's collapse. Success could shatter the Council's grip forever. The assault on the mind control facility was brutal. Automated defenses unleashed waves of drones and psychic disruptors. Our forces fought through illusions and manipulations designed to break wills. Commander Lyra led ground teams battling not just soldiers, but their fears made manifest. The fight was as much mental as physical shadows of doubt clawing at every step. I coordinated fleet maneuvers above, shielding comms and cutting off reinforcements. The battle pushed us to the brink, but the facility fell. Its signal darkened. The galaxy breathed, if only for a moment. With the facility disabled, hidden truths spilled forth. Data logs revealed Council leaders orchestrating mind control to maintain power, even planning to unleash it galaxy-wide. But the greatest shock was a traitor exposed within our ranks, a high-ranking officer who fed the Council intelligence. The betrayal cut deep, shaking trust to its core. I faced the bitter choice: justice or unity. The rebellion's survival depended on both, and the line between friend and foe blurred once more. The final chapter opened on a galaxy at a crossroads. The Council's hold shattered, and new alliances forged from fire and shadow. I stood among leaders of countless worlds, preparing to build a future from the ruins. Marin's voice echoed, "Justice will find us." His legacy lived in every step toward freedom, every battle fought in darkness. The galaxy was free. Not perfect, but alive, and forever changed. The silence that once ruled was broken by a chorus of countless voices, singing the dawn of a new era. The end. Thank you for watching AstroMyths. If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button and subscribe for more epic sci-fi tales, cosmic mysteries, and mind-bending myths. And if you like this story, or have a myth, mystery, or galaxy you'd like us to explore, drop your ideas in the comments. We're always listening. Until next time, keep your eyes on the stars and your mind open to the unknown.